said I was a savage.
Okay, hey guys, welcome back to Being Bougie by Miranda. So as you can see in today's title, we are going to be talking about the pros and the cons of becoming a health insurance agent or being an agent in the health industry. So don't forget to like, comment, and please, I love all the questions. As you know, if you've asked a question before, I answer all of your questions to the best of my abilities. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get straight into this video. I feel like I got a lot of questions about, you know, the steps of becoming a health insurance agent. What company do you work for where I can get into work with? And how long does it take? Like, do they do drug testing? Like, I've gotten so many questions and they're all great questions. But what I realized is a lot of people need to know if this is really the industry for you. So this is what this video is gonna do. This video is gonna break down my top 3 pros and my top 3 negatives in my opinion of being a health insurance agent. So let's get into that. So of course, the main part of being in this industry is the income. You know, that is a pro. You make a lot of money, you make really good money. If you want to know what you can look at, you know, how much you can make as a health insurance agent, make sure you click the link above in the cards for that video, and I explain my checks, even showing my statements as, you know, how much I got paid being an entry level in the industry for, you know, under a year or over a year. Being a health insurance agent is you will always have a job. There are so many sales positions out there. There's always recruiters looking for agents, sales agents to fulfill those roles because it is a growing industry. So this industry has grown over 33% in the last couple of years. So you will always have a job. You will always find work being a health insurance agent. And what I will say is, you know, don't be afraid to negotiate your pay sometimes, because at the end of the day, the companies need us to sell their policies. So know your worth. You know, you didn't get that license just for nothing. So definitely know your worth and, you know, be able to enjoy the pros of getting compensated very well being a health insurance agent. Another pro for me was making a difference in someone's life. So, you know, being a health insurance agent, it's a very serious business. And again, if you want to learn how to become a health insurance agent, just go to my video, how to become a health insurance agent. I've linked that as well, and down below. But basically, if you're not a person that likes to help other people, then this might not be the industry for you. And that's being completely honest. I love the fact that I'm able to help people. That's just who I am. I love helping others. I love helping my friends, my family. So it doesn't make any difference when I am able to do it for work. You know, help other people be able to set their policies up. I love the fact that I'm able to talk to my clients, build really great rapport with them, understand their needs, and really recommend the best policies that are gonna help them in terms of their health. Because again, this is serious, you know, so I try to listen to what they're looking for and what they're really needing in terms of coverage. And I say that to say at the end of the day, it helps me feel good that I'm making a difference in their life. So like I said, this industry, you know, if you love working with other people, if you love helping other people, this would be the job for you. This is definitely a positive of being a health insurance agent. Another positive would be enhancing your communication skills. So I'm not gonna lie, when I first started this job 2 years ago, it's about to be 3 years now, my God, time has flown, but over 2 years ago when I started this job, I did not know how to sell. This was my first sales position that I've ever been in. So when I did go through the training, I really took the time to understand my craft, understand, you know, the art of, you know, getting the buyer to say yes, the art of the assumptive close. And I'm not even an expert on that. I'm still learning with my learning curve as being a new agent. I still consider myself a new agent because there's tenured that I work with that's been in this industry for over 12 plus years. So basically I can link some videos down below, or you can just research it, you know, the assumptive close. It's literally a close that a lot of sales agents use to make sure that their buyers buy into the product. And that's what I will say with this job. Your communication skill is gonna be A1, okay? You're gonna learn how to overcome objections with rebuttals. At the end of your sales pitch, you know that your customer is gonna be rolling right into that application with you, okay? So this is really good because, you know, a lot of the times in the world that we live in, communication is very important. So you wanna make sure that you're able to articulate these plans. You wanna make sure that you're able to articulate to these clients, you know, what you can do for them, you know, what's in it for them. So that's what this position has taught me, and I feel like it's a benefit now because not only do I use that in my work life, I can use that in my, you know, daily life now with anything that I do, which is, you know, whenever you're able to enhance your communication skills, it's always a benefit to your life because that's how the world is run, you know, with communications. And with this industry, the positive thing about being an agent is your communication has to be on point. So you develop those skills over your training periods or over whatever training that your job may have for you, but also actually doing the work, being on the calls, you know, with your clients. You are developing communication skills. So if you felt like you struggled with that before, trust me, once you become an agent, once you get the hang of this, you're gonna be closing deals like nothing. And like I said, you wanna make sure that you're doing your research. You know, people are not gonna do it for you. You know, if you're really serious about this, to make sure that this is a positive in your life, Google it. Google the assumptive close, how to close on a sale. There's plethora of videos on YouTube that will help you. I even watched them when I was coming into this industry, and it helped me tremendously. Able to sign over, you know, 5 or 6 policies a day, you know, depending on the day. But I'm able to get a lot of my clients to say yes most of the times. And that's because I learned the art of getting people to say yes. So those were my 3 main positives of being a health insurance agent. So I do want to say that those are, again, this is all my opinion. This is what I feel like. Everyone's experience is different. This is what's, you know, I feel like people should know in terms of like what they're getting into. Let's now go with the negatives, you know, like let's touch base, because with every job, there are going to be some, you know, things that you just don't like, that you don't really care for, you know, and that's with anything that you do. If you're getting your own job, unless you are an entrepreneur, you have your business because you're doing what you love, you know, this is still a job at the end of the day. So let's get into the negatives. Now, the cons of this industry, I would say, in my opinion, is the mandatory overtime that you have to do at the end of the year. So basically in insurance, if anybody knows, there is the annual enrollment period. So again, just a little backstory on me, I'm in Medicare sales. So I only deal with a certain population. I only deal with people who are, you know, over the age of 65, who are on Medicare. Sometimes I deal with clients who have Medicaid. So, or people who are just looking for like dental or vision policies just by themselves. So that's the population that I work with, but mostly I work with the over 65 crowd, so the senior population. And like I said, annual enrollment period is a period that happens every year between October 15th through December 7th. And that is the busiest time for a health insurance agent. Any agent who's an agent now, put the money sign below, because you know that is the time to make the guap, okay, as an agent. Whether you're working for a company or working independently, annual enrollment period is the hustle, and that's what you'll learn. And the one thing I just don't like, and what was new to me, was that companies will have mandatory overtime, whether you're, and again, that's whether you're working with a company. If you're working by yourself, you have to be disciplined enough to hustle. You have to go out there and make sure that you are setting up appointments, calling clients, making sure that you have a book of business to work off of so you can make enough money, you know, during that time period. Now, for my experience, I work with a company, so the overtime, you're talking about 12 plus hours, you know, a day. you know, working overtime to, you know, get these policies taken care of, because you have a limited amount of time where you can help a few of those who can make changes, and this is the time of and that is the time of the year when they're able to do so. So it's very stressful. It could be very, very time consuming in terms of you will be on the phones and talking more than, you know, 11 to 12 hours per day, you know, and sometimes you'll even have one day off a week, you know, depending on how good you are. You know, a lot of the times the companies are going to have their veterans, you know, working, you know, 6 days out of the week, 1 day off. And again, that's only during that time period, October 15th through December 7th. It's not like a year-round thing, but that's because volume picks up. And like I said, at that time, it's a number of eligible people out there in the world who can make changes at that time. So you want to make sure that you're able to help as many people as you can, as quickly as you can, and as efficiently as you can. So the only thing I will say that, you know, during that time period, you can't tell, like, for example, my job, you cannot tell them you have a wedding coming up. You know, you cannot tell them, you know, your sister is giving birth and you planned on being in the birthing room at that point in time. Now, things happen, and you know, any employer is gonna understand, but they set expectations that you're gonna be committing to hours, you know, way above your normal working hours. So that's the one thing that I will say can be a con to some people, because some people just may like to work their regular 9 to 5 and, you know, we're Gucci. So with this job, that's not the case. When October through December comes, you bet your bottom dollar you're gonna be hustling, baby. You're gonna be on those phones for literally, you know, hours on end, just because, like I said, that is the time period where it's the busiest for agents. Another thing that could be a con is going to be, you know, and this is for some people. Some people love metrics, you know, but it is quotas. You know, you do have quotas, you have metrics that you have to meet in order to sustain your position, in order to sustain your job with any company, or even if you're independent as yourself. You have to, if you want to make a certain amount of money, you have to put yourself disciplined enough to make, to sell a certain amount of policies per day to make sure that you are making the income that you want to make at the end of the year. So some people may not be okay with that because they think like, oh, I'm becoming an agent. You know, some jobs, they don't have quotas, they don't have metrics. With this job, you are gonna have quotas and you're gonna have metrics that you're gonna have to meet in order to keep your job, especially if you're working with a company. They're gonna expect you to produce. You know, they're paying you to produce, to, you know, sell these policies so their business can get known, and so at the end of the day, you can also be compensated very well, you know, for your hard work. So that is something that you should know. You are gonna have metrics, you're gonna have to meet your metrics, and of course, if with any job, that is gonna determine, you know, your job performance. It's all going to be included in, you know, you being sustainable at that company. You know, if that's really the position for you, if you can continue to be consistent with meeting your metrics or exceeding them. Okay, and then last but not least, my con, I would say, is those grumpy, I wouldn't say grumpy, let's use another delicate word. You know, I know what to say. Okay, the last con I would say would be dealing with the challenging customers. So if you know what I mean by challenging, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, because especially if you worked in customer service, honey, it's not gonna get any better with health insurance, but there are gonna be some challenging customers that you will encounter. So that is something that will kind of caught me off guard, because, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm selling insurance and I'm here to help you, and I have the best plan for you that I know is gonna do well for you. You know, let's get you taken care of. And it's just, negative from the top of the call to the ending of the call. But like I said, a lot of the times what you can do with those customers is, you know, you have to talk to them. Just talk to them like they're regular people, and get to see where we can break down barriers. Being an insurance agent, especially being on like a work from home sales agent, it's very hard to build that rapport with a lot of clients because they're already skeptical. With everything going on, fraud is the biggest, is at the highest that it could ever be right now. So getting them to trust a voice without seeing a face is literally a job in itself. So you have to be very patient, very, very patient. Do not lose your cool. You know, you have to really try to take your time when it comes to dealing with these calls, because those are the customers that are going to throw objections after objections after objections. And you as the agent, you have to retain professionalism, being patient, and like I said, communicating with them, you know, what you're trying to do and how, you know, what's in it for them, how it could benefit them. So like I said, that's with you developing those skills of how to handle, you know, using rebuttals and things like that to overcome those objections, because you will have a lot. Okay, I'm not even going to exaggerate. A lot of challenging customers, especially if you are coming into the healthcare field that you're dealing with the older population, you know, so a lot of the times they don't have patience, or a lot of the time they have their own medical issues that they're currently dealing with, and they're already upset with the current healthcare coverage that they have. So somebody calling them about more healthcare coverage that they've been seeing advertised on television, it can drive them to automatically shut down at the beginning of the call. So like I said, you as the agent, you just have to come in there with your positive spirit, and like I said, be patient. Just be patient with them. You know, let them get everything out if they need to, but be patient with them. And you, even if you have to say, listen, Mrs. Clark, I don't mean to make you upset, but what I'm here to do is, and continue with the conversation. But that's for another video if you want some sales tips and tricks and things like that. But again, that would be the last thing I would say is a con. And going through my list here, you know, of the pros and the cons of being a health insurance agent, if you look at that list, you're like, you know, those cons are not so bad, and you know, those pros would really make me feel like, okay, I could do this, I can get through this, you know, then this is the industry for you, you know. But if you kind of checked off like, no, I don't want to deal with that, I don't want to do that, you know, then this is not for you. Don't put yourself through something where you know you're not going to be happy doing, you know. Don't just do it for the money, because if you're going to do it for the money, then it's going to be a struggle for you. With my pros, you know, you do make great money here, you do build up those communication skills. But the biggest thing of being a health insurance agent, you make a difference, okay? You make a huge difference in someone's life. This is someone's health insurance policy. Think of your own health insurance policy. You know what I mean? So, and just to add, like when I say make a difference, I know not only just, you know, helping someone make the decision to get a certain health insurance policy, but I helped so many clients save over thousands of dollars on their health insurance policies. And with anything, especially when you're on a very strict income, it is a blessing to so many households. This is serious business, guys, you know. So when you're coming into the health insurance people, you really have to have a knack of helping people, because like I said, if you just do it for just, you know, trying to gain a skill or trying to make money, you're not gonna last too long in this industry. Because like I said, if we drop down to the cons, you have mandatory overtime where you're not gonna always work your 9-to-5 schedule. You have that dealing with challenging customers. And then of course, you have to understand that you will have metrics. In order to keep your job, you need to produce. So, you know, again, look at those things before you even think about going into studying done, taking the test, really putting full-fledged into on the track of being a health insurance agent. Start looking up other pros and cons video, not just mine alone. You know, there's other material out here, but you really want to see in your own list if it's going to be something that's gonna genuinely you can work through and stick with and be in the industry and be happy. Thank you again for watching, and I truly hope this video helps you make that decision. Is this the industry that I really want to go in and work? Do I really want to put forth that effort to get a license, do the studying, and start working as a sales agent? So again, thank you again for watching.